electronic music. He worked with Bernard Sumner and Johnny Marr as indie supergroup Electronic on the 1996 album Razor Pressure and released the acclaimed album Communication in 2003. Now a professor, he spends much of his time in sound research. Wolfgang Fleur, who was crucial in the construction of some of Kraftwerk's early drum machines, continued to make electronic music under the title Yamo, collaborating with German electronic noise duo Mouse on Mars. His autobiography, released in 2000, gave a fascinating insight into the band and their eccentricities. It also invited litigation from Schneider and Hutter. Hutter and Schneider continued to cycle, occasionally finding time to make music and tour. A Kraftwerk gig today is still a great event, visually and sonically extreme, with a diverse audience ranging from young hipsters to middle-aged farts in chinos. Their show at the Hammerstein Ballroom last summer was the best gig I went to all year. Minimum Maximum, a live album covering their recent world tour, was released last year, following 2003's Tour de France soundtracks. As the band continues to look towards the future, the creative relationship between Schneider and Hutter is still strong. Ralph Hutter.
Well, we have no fixed principle of working, so wherever the ideas come from, might be from watching the Tour de France on television or riding the bike and creating some lyrics, working on the lyrical side, concepts. We might be sitting in the studio without music. We might be sitting in the studio with 10, 12 hours of working on a track. So there's always different work to do. So there's all kinds of work to do. We close the doors and we disappear, and when it's finished we come out.
Kraftwerk are not always an easy band. They've never compromised. They've been ridiculed for their unconventional approach, but they have always innovated and inspired. Their eccentricities, sense of humour, sense of visual style, sense of strong melody and original sound combine to make one of the most important outfits in the history of modern music. They are the most sampled band ever. They still sound relevant now, and for some, they are as important as any other single influence in pop.
I would say they're definitely up with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones in terms of overall influence.
They just do fantastic grooves, and they just do fantastic arrangements and fantastic melodies.
When you actually have your own moment of discovery, it's quite incredible getting hooked on the melodies as much as the synth sounds and things.
I watched a film about samurais last night, and I was thinking, yeah, a bit like samurais, kind of no emotion, and then they kind of flip out and chop you up, do a backflip.
I'd say they're as important as the Beatles, just because there was no one like them before that, and just because they reached out to so many different genres. People would still be probably sticking, keep music live on their instruments if it weren't for them.
People are being influenced all across the board. The Beatles have still got an influence, Gershwin, Ligeti, Kraftwerk, Justin Timberlake. It's all great, Keep it coming, keep cross-pollinating.
I've been Franz Ferdinand's Alex Kapranos, telling the story of Kraftwerk, the men who changed the destiny of modern pop music.